Hey, this is Jim. Welcome to Silent Sales Machine Radio. I'll be your host today, and we have a great guest who's going to be joining us in just a moment. I've already conducted the interview, and I know you're going to love it. Her name is Kim Reed. She is a professional mom. She's been in corporate America for 20 years as a controller in the accounting field, makes good money, but she's far more passionate about this side gig that's been growing for the past few months, just a few months. She hasn't been doing it very long at all. And it soon will surpass her corporate income. And she's going to go full time. She's about to have her first $40,000 month. That's her goal coming up very quickly. She's easily going to have a $30,000 month right now as we're halfway through the month where we do this interview. And she's on a path to building something truly special. And it's all part-time with a couple helpers. And it's all based on our Amazon course. The Proven Amazon course is the one with the replens training. We talk about it all the time, but here's yet again another new seller with replens strategies that are working incredibly well for them. And I love that she started out in a different Facebook group where she had invested in a very pricey course and some expensive tools. And she heard people talking about how much easier it was and more predictably successful you could be using the stuff we teach over here. A lot less expensive, easier learning curve. You can ramp up and have a real business very quickly without all the risks and without all the upfront investments and all these new details to learn. That's the private label strategy that so many people on YouTube are always talking about. You don't want to start there as a new seller. I wish I could just shake everyone watching those YouTube videos and say, hey, listen, for just a second. There's such an easier way to start putting money in the bank with Amazon. And you can do private label later once you know the ropes. Kim reflects that in her story today. That was exactly her experience. And we've seen it over and over and over again, thousands of times actually at this point, where people start down the private label road, they crash and burn, and then they come into our community and say, wow, I wish someone had shown us that there's such an easier, more predictable, less stressful, no inventory stacking up in my garage that I can't sell. It never happens with this model. You're just buying stuff that you know is going to sell well. So let's get into Kim's story. I love that she's got a special needs kiddo, and she talks about how she's incorporated him into the business and he's thriving as a result. And it's just the mom, her son who's working, and she's hired a college kid who's doing some shopping for him. And they built an incredible business together. Let's jump into Kim's story. You're going to enjoy this one. So welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Jim. Glad to be here.
It's great to have you. I was excited to read your bio and learn a little bit about you, but I can't wait to dig into some of those details.
Yeah.
So I'd love to hear your story. I'm just going to pass it right to you.
Okay. All right. So how I got started on Amazon, I guess?
Yeah. Whatever you want to share. You know, from your bio, you shared a little bit about your family and your career. This is a part-time thing for you and how you got started, how you found this. So that's all, wherever you want to start, and we'll cover all of it.
Okay. Well, so I'm married. I have 3 boys, and I have been in corporate America for a couple of decades. That's been my career. I've always focused on my career. And the last year or so, I've just really been trying to get my time back and my life back, time to spend with my boys. My boys are really spread out in age. I've got a 4-year-old, a 14-year-old, and a 25-year-old. So I kind of missed some of the early years, working hard, working my way up the corporate ladder with my first one, but I've got a 4-year-old at home. I'd like to start spending more time with him.
I love it.
Take him to kindergarten and that kind of stuff,
Great goal. So does your husband work full-time as well?
My husband works. He's not in the business. So the business is my passion, not his. Nice. But he is my biggest cheerleader and my biggest support. He listens to me, and helps me brainstorm ideas. But he's an independent contractor in the IT field. So he works at home often. At least half of his time he's already at home. And so It would be nice to be working more often around him even and spend more time with him too.
Yeah, that's great. So with the whole COVID thing, so you've been working from home, I'm assuming?
No.
Oh, you're still going into the office.
Yep. My corporate job is an essential, considered essential. We work for manufacturer components for the home building industry, which in California is considered essential. So I've been going to the office the whole time.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you've got a commute and a full-time job. And that makes the numbers I was seeing earlier today even more exciting as we start to dive into it. But for the listener's sake, let's keep your story rolling. Go ahead.
Okay. So it was about January, February that I started looking for how can I support myself and just get out of corporate America. You know, I have worked my way up. I've got a big salary to cover. So I know I got to get some big sales before I can quit. I got to work hard, and I'm up for it. I'm all in. So I first, just in research, I landed on a popular software that everybody uses for keyword research. And I said, looks like that's what we got to do if we're going to do Amazon, you know.
Let me guess, YouTube, right?
Well, yeah, YouTube. And yeah, of course. That's where you start.
All paths lead to a couple, 2 or 3 really expensive monthly paid software subscriptions. All paths lead there. Right?
Yeah, and I bought that one. I did. I was like, it looks like that's what everybody does. I mean, I'm just figuring it out as I go. Mm-hmm. Well, it turns out that was geared mostly to private label, and I didn't know the difference. Really, I was brand new and learning. Mm-hmm. But I saw a lot of people in the forums of that group complaining that they were losing a lot of money and it wasn't working very well and they were all failing. And somebody in the forums there said, you should check out my silent team. We do things differently over there. You know, you really need to start smaller and get your feet wet. It wasn't to me, it was to somebody else, but I was reading those comments.
Yeah. So in a Facebook group supporting one of these pricey software packages that you subscribe to, pushing you into private label, which we love teaching people private label strategies. We're as good or better than anyone, but we don't start new sellers there. That's the big difference. Yeah. We start you out putting money in the bank first, which as an accountant background, you can appreciate, right? It's
yes, I'm an accountant. I might not have said that. Yeah.
Right. It just makes sense. And we'll get into more complicated stuff later. Once you're making money, then you can invest back in.
Yes.
But yeah, that's cool that in another Facebook group, they were sending people our way as they were complaining about the high failure rate. That's one thing you just don't see in our Facebook group. Just not to divert too far off the topic, but you just don't see a lot of people saying, hey, I did what you guys told me to, and it's failing miserably. You just don't see it.
No, there's a lot of success stories.
Yeah, there are hundreds and hundreds. We've blown past, I think, 700 or 800 at this point, posted in our Facebook group. That's just the people who voluntarily post their success. It's not, we're not, combing for those. Those are people who just pop up and say things.
Yeah. And that was one of the things that really encouraged me when I started was seeing all those success stories. I remember before I pulled the trigger and bought the pack, I was telling my husband, look at this guy. Oscar was one that keeps coming to mind. Oscar, he just started and he's doing 20,000 a month. And I said, all right, that's my goal. I've got to keep up with Oscar. He did this in 3 months. I can do that in 3 months. So but he kind of became.
He's got his commute. He's working full time. Talk about Hustle. He presented on Hustle at our virtual conference here. It was mesmerizing. I got to get you access to those training as a thank you for being a guest today. How about I get you access to all the videos from that event? It sounds like you missed it. You're going to love it. So much good content crammed in. We're actually talking about, not to divert too much, remember where you were, stick a pin in it, but I was just talking with the team. We got to do more virtual events. It was so great. We were kind of anticipating kind of being like, second best, but we were able to do so much content and it was so less expensive than traveling. We could really do some nice things. So it was a great event. So we'll get you access to that as a thank you.
That's really
You'll really enjoy going through it. But anyway, let's keep it going. So you're working hard, working full time. Husband's working full time.
Yep. So I purchased the pack at the beginning of the year. It was, I think, February, maybe the beginning of March.
Right.
And once I make a decision to do something, I'm all in. So full stream ahead. By the time, but here we are in a pandemic. What timing, right? The week that my Amazon account was set up was the week California went on quarantine. and we were not supposed to really been spending much time in stores.
Right. So here we are mid-November. What are the rules now in California? I haven't really tracked it.
We've been going in and out of, we were relaxed and restaurants and things were reopened, but they just closed back down again for indoor dining. So we are only outdoors. We can still go to stores as long as we have masks on. And
I got you.
So I shop on the weekends, but that month, my very first month, we were not supposed to be spending time in stores except when it was, really required.
Right.
So I was only doing my weekly shopping trip for my own self, and I would take pictures in the aisles. That was my very first chance at sourcing. I was only going to make one trip to the store, and one Saturday and come home and do my research. And then I would try to do online research as well. And I was following the Replens completely, 100% the Replens.
Yeah, we should probably point that out. That's where we start new sellers now, every time. Unless they have a big background in successfully creating and launching brands.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make any sense to go down the private label path. It just doesn't. I've been saying lately, there's about a 10% success rate there. If you don't have experience and you get the best tools and the best training and the best software and the best motivation, you got about a 10% chance of hitting a home run with private label. That's just how it is. And people are going to come in and see your success, and they're going to compete with you very quickly as well, which is another challenge with the private label model. You got to really know what you're doing. That's why most people fail. They don't know what they're doing. But the Replens, which is a module in the Proven Amazon course, we call it the PAC. And this is for the new listeners. I know you know all this, Kim. Yeah. But the new listeners, you got to accommodate these new people. We love having you join the show. Mm-hmm. That's one of the modules inside the Proven Amazon course. And I call it the inch deep, mile wide, low risk strategy. You're buying a handful of a bunch of different items that you know are going to sell well. And as an accountant, you can tell us, right, Kim, like if you watch your numbers a little bit, that as long as you're staying above about a 40% ROI or so, you can build a substantial business very quickly. And it's not complicated. It's stuff that's on the shelf at the stores, right?
Yep, it is. Yeah, full price. And, I just got to spend time scanning and searching it. But
coupons. You can if you want.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait for sales. You can if you want.
You can if you want. Exactly. When I started, everything I've looked for is Replens, and I tried to sprinkle in just some regular RA and clearance deal. And I found that a little bit challenging at first because I'm just so used to searching for, repeatable things. So I struggled a little bit.
You don't have to scan barcodes. You don't get near as excited about the clearance aisle. You're like, why would I sell something 2 or 3 times and make $50? I want stuff that I can sell 2 or 3 times a week. Yes. That's what I'm looking for today. And make $3 or $4 or $5 or $10 each time it sells. Or more. Exactly. We're getting some Replens now that are priced really well. We're seeing people with Replens that cost $400 or $500, and they're putting $200 or $300 in the bank each time it sells. I'm like, that's a nice Replen.
That's really good. Yeah. So then my first month was also the month when I finally had some products purchased, ready to send in. Amazon shut down FBA, so for essential items in March. So I also did not get to make my first sales through FBA. My first sales were through Merchant Fulfilled. So I was pivoting before I even tried the original way.
Nice. So just for the new listeners who don't know, FBA is when you just send it to Amazon and they take care of it from there. FBM or Merchant Fulfill, MF, you'll see sometimes, is when you have to actually do the shipping, kind of like on eBay. If someone buys something, you got to ship it.
Yep.
You can do that with Amazon. But the beauty of Amazon is you can clear your house out anytime you want and just send it all to them and they'll ship it for you when it sells.
Yeah.
But yes, I love that you pointed that out. In March, it was essential items only. That was a crazy March, April, May were arguably the 3 craziest months of business. Let's tack June in there too. In my 20 plus years of e-commerce, nothing else comes close. For many, many reasons besides what we're talking about right now. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But the thing, as we look back over our shoulder, Kim, I think you've probably noticed this, is the whole e-commerce game has taken like a 6-year leap forward. Everyone's shopping online now. Everyone's more comfortable shopping online. The stuff you can sell now, anything and everything. Yeah. I would almost argue, and I don't want to steal your thunder. I want to hear your story, Kim, but I'm just sitting here thinking as I'm saying this, you could give me any product at the store. I don't care what it is. At a retail store, Walmart, Target, Meijer, whatever's near you, it doesn't matter. I can find a way to break even or make a profit with it. Anything that's off the store at a retail shop, I can find a way to at least break even. We're not going to lose money on it. If we do lose, maybe we lose like 10% of what we pay.
Right.
And there's a little less in there.
Right.
Just about anything. There's a way to make money with it right now because so many people are shopping online. That's just And some people were saying, you weren't around for this, Kim. People used to say, well, retail arbitrage is dead. Online arbitrage.
I still hear him say it. Yeah.
You still hear it. And on YouTube, like, who would waste their time doing it? Like, that's where the sustainable businesses are right now.
Yeah.
We got a community full of them. So, all right, keep it going, Kim. I don't want to jump on too many soapboxes.
No, that's okay.
I've been excited about this stuff lately.
That's okay. So yeah, that's how I started Merchant Fulfilled. My first month, I did $5,000 in sales. I sold a ton of catnip that I, I packed up in my garage. That was my first product. And I've just kept trying to grow and grow and go from there. I have ambitious goals. I want to quit my corporate job in 2021. So I am pushing every month to be better than the last month. Now I can do FBA. As soon as they opened up the, floodgates there, I've started sending in FBA whenever possible.
Awesome. So you're doing all the prepping, all the shopping, all the shipping. You're doing it all yourself, right?
I just hired, mostly, but I just hired an employee about 60 days ago, my first employee. And my son helps me. My 14-year-old son, this is one of my bonus whys.
Yes, your autistic son, if I remember correctly.
He's autistic, yeah. And he's a brilliant boy. He's academically, he is on par with everybody in his school. He just started his freshman year of high school remote, which is very difficult for him, especially. So academically, he's great, but he still has struggle communicating with people and things that trigger him. And it's hard for me to see when he becomes an adult, is he going to be able to hold a job? I don't know. That worries me. It's one of my worries as a mom.
We have one of those that's kind of on the line. Ours is 17, going on 18 very soon. Ty, our special needs kiddo, we adopted from China. Cognitively very sharp. He makes brilliant observations about life, but you're wondering, how independent will he be at 22, 25? We're still kind of figuring that out. So and he works every day in the business with us.
Yes.
He helps prep.
Yes.
And he's tedious. Meticulous is the word I was looking for.
Yes.
And that's great. You want someone that's meticulous. It's like, no, Dad, there's supposed to be 30 in the box.
Yes, exactly.
29.
Exactly.
You're right.
Exactly. And so he was my first employee. He helps me, and he
That's
actually
awesome.
loves doing it. And my husband and I were really surprised because there's a lot of things that bother him and make him very frustrated at home, just living life. His brother, or, the song that plays on the TV, who knows? But when he's working, and we treat it like a real job, he is a great worker. And we're just kind of so surprised. And like you said, very meticulous, and he enjoys it. We usually play music, maybe have a movie in the background going while we prep, and he enjoys it. And he's been working so much. Originally, I said, if you'll help me out a little bit on the weekends, you can earn some extra video game time, which he was all for, because, he only gets a certain amount of video game time a day. But I said, he's been working so much now, 2 8-hour days on Saturdays and Sundays. He needs to earn a paycheck now. So now he earns $20 a week, which for him is great. He's ecstatic with. He can buy a new video game, once a month, a new brand new, and he loves it. He loves it. And
so great.
I'm just happy that I'm getting the chance to teach him some work experience skills now, showing up on time and, doing what your boss says, whether you like it or not. Don't yell at your coworkers. Our four-year-old ticks him off a lot. So, you can't yell at your coworkers. You're at your job. Just focus on your job.
That's so great. I don't know why I'm compelled to ask this, but is there any way you could send us a picture of him working? Would you be comfortable?
Oh, absolutely. Sure. I could do that.
To, when we announce this episode, put a link, just so we can you can show us. What's his name? Aaron. Yeah, just give us a picture of Aaron. I'd love to see him working,
Yeah, absolutely.
See him in his element. And
absolutely. I'll do that.
Like a great kid.
Yeah, he is. So I'm just glad I can teach him. And then, if he isn't able to get his own job later, I'll have a company where he could have a job. And I'm really glad. And he can choose to leave, but I'm glad to have a choice maybe for him.
And I know as a dad how that made me feel when I realized that's what I'd built. Is a safety net, basically, and not a handout safety net.
No,
I'm talking about if you contribute, you can make a living with what we've built as a family.
Yes.
That's just a really good, I don't know how it feels as a mom, but I know as a dad, as the provider protector kind of role, I'm like, oh, that's just such a great, it's kind of like you've crossed that line that I never knew I could actually get across. And it feels so good. Right?
Yeah, it does. It takes a lot of weight
they
off
go
my
off
shoulder.
and take flight and do who knows what.
Right.
But they've got something they can fall back on that we can build together anytime. Or no matter what they do on the side, they could live on the other side of the planet and we could be building this together.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. So well done. Can't wait to meet Aaron.
Yeah. So now, now what I've progressed to, I've built so many replens. I just finished my 7th month, so I haven't been doing this very long, but my 7th month, I hit a bottleneck where I only have the weekends to shop and prep. I
Right.
have a full-time job during the week. And stores still close early. I can't really go shopping, after the kids are in bed. I got maybe an hour, so I don't shop during the week.
Yeah.
Um, so I was hitting a bottleneck where I had so many replens now. I spent my Saturday only replenishing things and I didn't have time to be scanning and searching for more.
Mm.
So that's where I said, okay, now it's time to hire a shopper. And that was a game changer, finally being able to do that. Because then I just slingshotted my next month after I hired her. I saw an old high school friend that I've kept in touch with on Facebook, and she said, hey, does anybody know of any work that's safe? Because it's COVID right now, safe, that's hiring. My daughter's starting college in the fall, and she just needs something really flexible to learn a little bit of extra money, help pay for tuition. And I chewed on that for a couple of weeks, gave her time to find something else. And I said, does Charlie want to come work for me? And she did. And she's been great because she's a better shopper than I am. I can tend to be a little reserved sometimes. Maybe I don't want to draw attention. She'll go get 3 or 4 carts, push them over to, customer service. Hold this. I got to fill up another one. And she can get more than I can.
Yep. So I was just checking out a couple of days ago and thinking to myself, not everyone could do what I just did, because I bought. It's a product that most people are embarrassed to take one of to the cash register.
Yeah.
And I took a cart full of 50 of them. To the cash register, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I didn't even bat an eye. My heart rate didn't even go up. I'm like, yeah, you'll get there,
Yeah.
You'll get there.
Yeah.
You'll get there if you're not there yet. But hiring someone who out of the gate is just like, here's part number 4, and keeping them lined up. And like, what do you need all that for?
Yes, exactly. She tells me stories that people think, do you really need that many Hawaiian punches? And she'll say, yes, and I'm going to get 5 more.
It's not just all for me, You can have fun with it. I just tell people straight out what we do. Because oftentimes managers will say, oh, really? So you resell it? The truck comes on Thursdays. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. Thanks. Like, can I get a number actually and check in with you? Because we're looking for more of this. They love to help you. Actually, 95% of the managers and the workers, they'll love to help you do what you do.
I just for the first time ran into that this last weekend. I hadn't talked to any managers about that, but I was checking out at a store and the cashier said, Amazon or eBay.
Exactly.
And I said, oh, Amazon. He said, we have a regular that we order pallet quantities for. He just bought $8,000 from us yesterday. You want to order anything, come back and let me know. Wow. Okay.
Exactly. Game changer, right?
Yes. So that was really exciting. So anyway, Charlie now, she helps me shop during the week. She shops for one day and just replenishes off the list, brings everything to the house on Saturdays. And now on Saturdays, her and my son prep everything that she shopped for. And I go look for new replens all day on Saturday. So I'm able to now, I can usually average 20 to 30 new replens on my Saturday shopping day, every week. So that first month that I had her, I added over 100 new test replens. And then the next month, now they're all being successful. Now I'm starting to replenish. I started to notice, wow, I've tested so many things and they're actually selling faster than I had tested. I need to get my volume up. I need to start going deeper on everything.
Right.
And
one of the more frustrating moments for me is when I scroll through the inventory and there's zeros and stuff. So I'm like, why is that? How'd that get to 0?
Yeah.
Get more now.
Yeah. I had been in such a test, everything is test mode, that to scale up, I was realizing that, wow, they've been successful for a couple of months. It's okay to go deeper. Don't be afraid now. It's okay to go deeper. So we started the first week of October, doubling our shipments. And I couldn't have done that without Charlie's help in prepping and shopping it. So I was sending in about 200 units a week, and now we're sending in about 600 units a week. And as of this week, now all that inventory is starting to become available. Just now, it took about 30 days. So now this week's sales were $10,000. I'm on track to hit $40,000 this month in sales, which is great.
For November, $40,000 in sales.
Yeah.
What's your ROI, Miss Accountant?
When I'm sending in the batches, I'm at about 70%. But then it's there's a lag, and once you have your inbound freight, you have some returns. On my
sure.
financials, it all comes down. It ends up more like 55 to 60. But I'm ramping up, so my inbound freight this month is like double. This month what I'm selling.
There's a lag in the profit.
Yeah.
But it's a nice, healthy 50 to 70%.
Yes.
And it doesn't hurt that you've got a kid willing to work for $20 a week.
Yeah.
That's a bonus, right?
Yeah, it is.
But still, that's a healthy business.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. I always like asking, we each kind of have our own unique definition of what a replan is. So those who are listening, like, replan, okay, you grab them off the shelf at any store, you can shop for them online, but how do I know I found a good replan? If you had to describe to me in like a minute or two.
Replan is definitely something that you could sell over and over again, and it's full price. You can go buy it. What I'm looking for when I'm shopping, I'm always checking Keepa.
Of course.
I start with, how Jimmy recommends in the replens course, testing something. If it's at least 10 drops a month on Keepa, that's where I start with. I'm looking for stable pricing where the price isn't tanking. The sellers aren't going up and the price is coming down. I like to look for bundles. They do way better for me, bundles instead of single items. But I still have a lot of single items. And I think now I need to also start culling back some of my replens, because starting out, I kind of accepted anything because I just have to experience it. I have to try it. I have to learn and take some action. And so I have some stuff now that's like, it might be 70% ROI, but I make 50 cents. That's kind of silly and a waste of my time. I need to start dropping those.
Yeah. And maybe look for a $2 minimum is kind of the rule that we have. If we can't make at least $2 on it, it's kind of a waste of time.
Yeah.
And that may sound, for the listeners, like, I don't want to make work to make $2 or $3, and that sounds like a waste of time. What we're talking about, how many replens do you have?
Oh, my active SKUs right now are 275.
Okay, 275 active SKUs. And any given week, you're shipping 600 units in, you said?
Yeah, 600 units in.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you have the 80-20 rule, the Pareto principle, where like your top 20% are producing 80% of your profits.
Yeah, pretty much.
Kind of always, you're going to shave the bottom off that, the ones that aren't just kind of sitting there because you don't want to just let stuff sit for 90 or 120 days to Amazon. They start to penalize you. But once you kind of dial in those rules, it really is a simple matter of just pulling stuff off the shelf. It's like, oh, this barbecue sauce in a 4-pack, I'm making $6 every time it sells.
Yeah.
This shaving cream in a 3-pack with this razor package, I'm making $8 every time that set sells. So you got people out shopping, got people sending it in, and you look over your shoulder and you've got a $30,000 or $40,000 a month business.
Yeah.
You're working part-time with a couple helpers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's not been difficult. And my replens, actually, to have something that you said like might sit there 90 days, mine don't sit there 90 days. If I see it 60 days, that's odd. And I'll probably start lowering the price just a little bit, but the replens go fast.
Yeah. If you're getting good ones.
Yeah.
They go fast.
Yeah, they do.
And you learn to get good ones. You mentioned Keepa. We started off this episode talking about expensive software. This is one of the cheapest software. It used to be free, and then they started charging $17 a month, I think, for it, and everyone freaked out.
Yeah.
That beats like $200 a month, like a lot of these software programs. $17 a month, you got really the only tool you need besides the free Amazon Seller app.
Yes.
And we don't
Keepa is a must.
We don't have a relationship with Keepa. Just they're really good. It's a very simple tool. You can learn it when you first see it. Were you kind of intimidated by all the lines and graphs and dots?
No, I'm not, because I'm a data nerd. I'm an accountant.
Graphs.
Yeah, yes, I was super cool. Yes, I have an accounting degree, and I was halfway through my master's degree in data analytics when I stopped to instead focus on Amazon.
So you learned Keepa in about 4 minutes, basically.
Yeah. I still got to learn kind of the industry and what is that telling me, supply and demand, and kind of, but yeah, I love graphs. I love going back into the Keepa webpage and pulling. You can query and pull kind of, products and dump them to Excel. I do all kinds of stuff like that.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, it sounds like you might have a course in you, to me.
Oh, maybe.
You may have some unique strategies that you could share. That's how we do things around here is we wait for successful students to step up and go, hey, I love what you guys are teaching me, but I've tweaked it a little bit and I'd love to share what I'm doing with others. And then you're a leader and a teacher and a coach and a trainer in our community.
Yeah. I would would love to continue and to be able to coach and help sometimes. I've been a manager in corporate for a really long time. And I love, especially, this is maybe one of my kind of side passions too. I'm really frustrated in corporate America how senior women in management are treated. I've experienced it myself. I have a lot of amazing women that have worked for me or beside me and who I've seen the same thing happen. And sometimes it seems like women are not willing to take the same risks. They're a little hesitant. And I've heard that in some, women's leadership courses that I've been to for work and stuff, that men will jump right in and sure, let's give it a try. But sometimes women are like, if I'm not 80% sure that this is going to be successful, I'm not sure if I wanted to try.
Or more hesitant.
And whether that's applying for a job, asking for a promotion or a raise, or starting a business. So I just want to I would love to encourage other women that you can do this.
That's fantastic. Yeah, we love it. I'm learning, I've been around long enough now to learn to appreciate and respect and understand. Everybody kind of has their own unique personality approach, and the genders are very different in the way they kind of see and process business. And you've got to have a nice, healthy dose of a couple different perspectives. Or you kind of drift off into territory where your weaknesses are highlighted and it hurts you. So our leadership team is very much made up of, we don't intentionally say, hey, we need a certain segment of this type of person and that. It just kind of happens. Good creative leaders who are succeeding can come in all shapes, sizes, colors, genders. And you look around your team and like, we didn't aim to be this diverse, but we are. These are the people who are motivated, succeeding. They care for others. We have a teacher's heart. We don't care what they look like. And it's a neat group of people with a lot of different perspectives. And we've got women who meet regularly just as women. We've got guys who form mastermind groups. We got mixed groups that just kind of organically pop up. Yeah. So for you, Kim, and for all the other people who are thinking, can I contribute as a leader in this organization? Absolutely, you can. Find a gap and fill it.
Yeah.
We got single stay-home moms that kind of meet together. We've got, people who have full-time corporate careers and they've kind of masterminded. How do you juggle it all? Mastermind, and they get together once a month and kind of think through and process through with each other. Plenty of leadership opportunities for sure. And then we've got our coaches, our coaching program, always looking for more coaches, because of what happens, Kim, and for the listeners' sake too. The way we find our coaches is it's the students who are succeeding that have a few extra hours per week and they have a teacher's heart. They'll start coaching. Well, what inevitably happens is their business is just going up and up and up. And pretty soon we can't afford to pay them as a coach.
Yeah.
Like, $50 to $100 an hour. I can't afford to work for you anymore, Jim. Sorry. You guys are going to have to pay me like $600 an hour to make it even worth my time. Like, well, hey, I don't know anyone that's willing to pay that much to learn the basics of this stuff. So, we'll find a way for you to help us create a course or, step into leadership in another way. But that's our business model. So plenty of room, Kim. Step in.
Yeah. I would love to at some point. My first goal is hit 50,000 a month in sales. That's the number.
Fast. I bet that's December.
That's what I think too.
Really?
December or January.
Probably December. It's going to be heavier in December. January, you'll see a little trail off because people go crazy spending for Christmas, basically, is what it comes down to, right?
Yeah. So, like I said, I've been hitting it hard trying to leave corporate. I not only do, I want my freedom back, but I actually love Amazon. It's so much more fun. It's accounting is now boring, and I can't wait to get back and look at, the more effort I put into Amazon, the more results I see. The more effort I put into my corporate job, I don't get an extra raise. I don't get a promotion. Right. I'm at the top. So I like being able to see the results of that. So, I've been putting away savings. I'll have 6 months of savings by January. If I hit that 50,000 a month, I think that's when I can start looking at my numbers hard and say, can I make the move here? Maybe within a month or two after that. So I'm hoping for first quarter. I might be ambitious, but I'm hoping for first quarter.
So we're talking less than a year. You're going from having serious thoughts of, I'm going to replace. You sound like you've had a very successful career, 20-year career in accounting and in leadership,
I've been a controller. Management. Yeah, I've been a controller for 20 years.
Yeah, that's a serious career path to set aside. And you could go back to it, I'm sure. And
I could,
keep that resume healthy just in case. But That just amazes me that we have doctors and we have, professionals of all types. And then we have guys who, they hurt their back doing roof work.
Yeah.
And they turn into the most incredible Amazon and online internet marketing geeks and just build these incredible businesses. I reminded of Abe Ortolani when I'm saying this, like he hadn't used a computer or a smartphone.
Oh.
When he started, he's like, he had to learn both because he was a construction guy. And now he's one of the most brilliant pay-per-click advertising strategists in our team.
Yeah, I've seen a few of his videos. Yeah.
Right. Like you got to put on your thinking cap to hang with this guy, right?
Yeah.
Because he's really sharp and he goes deep into the data. And it's like, who knew? He may have never known had he not hurt his back.
Yeah.
He had this gift and talent for numbers and business. But this is great. Well, I want to hear some tips and strategies. If you're going to convince me that I could do this, and maybe I know what replens are now, and I've got the proven Amazon course, I've gone through the basics. Like, encourage me in the right direction. Give me a little shove. Any tips?
Oh, well, you just got, you guys say this all the time. You just got to take action. I see so many posts in the group, or I hang out a lot on Instagram. People contact me and ask me questions there. I see so many people, they won't start. They're just, I've read all this thing. I don't know where to start, or, you just have to get into the store and just start scanning. You have to take action. You might have a few losers, but there's a lesson there. You always learn from failure.
That's right.
And when looking for replens, I hear so many people say, I can't find anything. I'm gated in everything. There's nothing, for me out there. I had a great product. I made a post in the group a couple months ago. It was something I got at Walmart. It was a kitchen product. It's not a gated brand. It's not a gated category. It's sold all year round. And I sold $10,000 of that one product over a course of a month because it was a hot seasonal thing. Mm-hmm. It was the end of summer, and it was an end of summer thing. Anybody could have done that.
Yeah.
You just
How many other sellers did you have on that list?
That one was a lot, actually. There was probably 40 or 50 sellers, but it was ranked like 1,200 because it was such a fast mover. I had to merchant fulfill it. Mm-hmm. That was such a surprise because I'd actually been sending it in as a replen. I already had it. And a friend of mine said, hey, do you want to tip this thing that I get at Dollar General? I can't keep it in stock. It sells in hours. You have to merchant fulfill it because everybody wants it right this second. And I said, well, how do you sell that FBA? I hadn't even paid attention that the demand had increased. And so I wonder if the Walmart brand, because I don't have a lot of Dollar Generals near me, I wonder if Walmart brand is selling as well. And I went, if they're buying it that fast, maybe they want a bundle. Let me see if I can find a bundle listing. And so I found a 6-pack bundle listing. So I'll list a couple merchant fulfilled, I guess, while I go shop for my replens. They all sold before I even got to the grocery aisles. They sold out. So I went back and cleared the shelf. And for the next month, I tried clearing the shelves at all Walmarts every weekend. At that point, I wish I didn't have my day job because I would go shopping every day.
Right.
But I was making about $20 profit per bundle on those things. And any of the newbies could have done that. Yeah. You just got to look for them. It's not gated. And
I love that it wasn't on sale.
Nope.
It's a boring item.
It is.
Boring is dollars. Boring is money. That's where the money is. People try to come up with that, the electric dog collar MP3 player that everyone's going to want. And I'm going to private label this and invent something. It's like, no, what you're going to do is spend $50,000 and fill your garage with a bunch of stuff that you wish you'd never thought about. That's the path you're on.
Yeah.
Instead, look at this stuff it's everywhere. It's just
everyday stuff. Yeah. This product in a single would cost me $2. And I was selling them in 6-packs for around 60.
Mm-hmm. And I could drop you with the skill set you have now. And it takes a little time. It takes a couple of weeks to go through the replens course, but I could drop you in any retail store in any city, in any aisle, and say, you've got an hour, and you would walk out with 5 to 20.
Probably 5. Yeah. I get 20 in a full day. I'm still a little slow, but definitely 5 in an hour.
I'll give you a couple hours. You get 5 to 10, right? And these are all new income streams.
Yeah.
Just new income streams for you.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
And then you just give your shopper the list and say, hey, go buy this stuff. And they don't even have to know why they're buying it. They just go buy it.
Yeah.
All right. It's on the list. Quantity 10. I'll go get it. I only got 3 at that store. Go to another store, grab the other 7 I need, and there you go. Drop it off.
Yep.
So how do you pay your shopper? Was it Charlie?
Charlie, her name is Charlie. Yeah, I set up payroll. I went for a payroll. I mean, I'm in California, the independent contractor versus employee.
Very
I've been
strict.
in business for a long time, as a controller. I
Mhm.
didn't want to risk, wrong classification. So I set up payroll. I got the Gusto payroll and workers' comp and everything through there.
So it's hourly?
Hourly minimum wage in California is $12 an hour. So that's what she gets. California also makes me pay her mileage. So she gets mileage for driving around all day too. But I'm able to cover that. Now, at the moment, I don't have a giant net profit left over because I'm scaling up. I'm paying Charlie.
Sure.
But the month after I hired her, my sales went from 20,000 to 30,000. I mean, we're getting there. That's
Absolutely.
the
And
investment I made in
your
her. I'm seeing in
50
the
to
next
70% ROI, $30,000
Yes.
a month. There's definitely some money for the piggy bank after all's
Yes.
paid, all the bills are
Yes.
paid,
Yes.
especially as you're ramping up. Yeah,
Yeah.
you've got a great, and I love that we're able to talk in general numbers for people to kind of paint a picture, how many
Mhm.
hours you're putting into it, who you had to
Mhm.
hire, what their roles
Mhm.
are. I think people can start to, just from hearing your story, kind of get a vision of, all right, this is doable.
Yeah.
And we cruised past the whole Keepa conversation because you picked up on it pretty fast. I was actually very intimidated when I first, and I'm a data guy too. I have
Mhm.
a minor in statistics. That was I kind of think in numbers. But
Mhm.
when I first looked at the Keepa graphs and I saw like 18 lines and some of them going up and down and some
Oh,
of them are like coursing over time, I'm like, I don't even
yeah.
know what I'm looking at. This is intimidating.
Yeah.
But with about 5 minutes of instruction, about 80% of what you need to know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
And then
absolutely.
that last 20% kind of comes over time. You develop instincts and you can see where
Mhm.
Keepa's, there's opportunity. Like I know Jimmy teaches like 10 drops.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want to see that means at least 10 units of that item sold. We don't,
Mhm.
if I can sell one every month or two, we'll grab it and test it,
Yeah.
because what you'll find a lot of times is some of those items sell a lot more than once.
Yeah. Yeah.
Keepa can be, it underestimates very frequently how many of an
Yeah.
item you can sell. No one knows how
Yeah.
many.
Right. Right. One drop could be 10 sales.
Yeah, or Keepa just only checks it once a week.
Right.
They're
Yeah.
not staying on top of that one real well.
Yeah.
So
As a
actually
beginner, I really was looking closely. I didn't want to lose money or make bad choices. So I was looking
Right.
closely for really clear, obvious graphs. But now that I've been doing it a few months, I am starting to do more that might look riskier to beginners. But one product I thought of, it didn't have very many drops at all. But I was like, wow, that I sell that brand in a single or whatever it was. It sells really well. And somebody just listed this variety pack. It already comes in a variety pack by the manufacturer. But it's only had a couple sales. You know what? I'm going to test it because the
Sure.
other one sells well.
Why not?
6 months later, that's my number 2 selling product. And I jumped on in the beginning when the price was still good. And
Mhm.
it's come down since then.
Right.
But that was a good one. So now I'm trying to look for that stuff more, related products to what I'm already selling. If that flavor sells well, probably this one will. Or
Exactly. Good
stuff
tips.
stuff that I have a good I love grocery.
Mhm.
Grocery is my favorite category, but I do about 50% grocery. I don't want to be completely grocery. I want to have some diversity. But things that sell well for me, especially now during COVID, people are missing their favorite restaurants. And do you know all these restaurants have their salad dressing and their biscuit mix and their, restaurant branded things. So anytime I see a
Great
grocery item that's restaurant branded, I scan it. It usually does well.
Yes. Yeah, great tip. One of the things I've noticed too is if you go through the store and you see empty sections on the shelf,
Yeah.
that means people really like that item.
Mhm.
What is that?
Yeah.
And you research it. A lot of times, even though there's none on the shelf, you get to see the price tag of the sticker there and like, what product is it? You can
Mhm.
kind of tell by what's next to it, and you research that like, whoa, that is a great product.
Yeah.
And it may be other Amazon sellers, or it may
Yeah.
just be it's a popular product.
Mhm.
And those are always great too. So that's another little tip. I don't think I've actually
Yeah.
heard the show before, but it's a good one to look, when you're outsourcing.
Yeah, I hadn't. I need to try that. I'm going to
Yeah,
start working that
it's
in.
a good tip. The gaps are cash. Maybe I should patent
Uh-huh.
that phrase. Yeah,
Yeah.
gaps in the shelf.
In the aisle.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's incredibly boring and diverse. You look at the products, it's funny to look at them on a shelf. It's like, who
Uh-huh.
would collect these products? But those are the items that you can make a profit on
Hmm.
and build a real business around.
Yeah.
You'll always lose a few. Each month you're going to lose a few,
Yeah, I do. I
maybe
have.
5%, I would say, just to pull a number out of the air.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you're adding in 10 or 20% new ASINs every
Yes.
month to what you already
Yes.
have. And so it is it's scaling up at all times, and you start to see this kind of numbers that we're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really good.
I've dropped a ton of ASINs, and that's something I think new people need to remember too. You're not going to get those first 10 and still probably have them in 6 months. I've probably went through 1,000 ASINs that I've tested at some point, and they might have done well for 2 or 3 months,
Right.
or they might have not really passed the test. But I'm left with, at the moment, 275 great ones. But I keep I love data. I threw together my own database. So I'm keeping track of everything I've ever tested. And I try to go back and revisit those a couple months later and see
We're
if
doing
they've
that
recovered.
ourselves right now.
Yeah.
I just passed our list of ASINs that we dropped over the past year, and we're having someone go through it just to see if there's any life still.
Yep.
And especially one of the things that you'll want to look into at some point is finding a VA, a virtual assistant that you pay, $4 to $6 an hour out of the Philippines to do any of this repetitive data crunching, updating the inventory levels or whatever. If they don't have to be actually in your house to do the job and they can be online doing it, you can find people, pay a few bucks an hour, and that's a lot of money. And they're very, very talented and hardworking. So that would be another way to scale as well. That's something that we've used.
Yeah.
I think we're dropping a lot of golden nuggets here.
Well, good.
This has been really good. And I'm actually excited right now. I mean, the business is just so on fire for us right now, but that's after I get off this, part of the rest of my day is going out, and I plan to find 15 or 20 new replens. Research I did last night. And we've got our shopping team and our our prepping team, and they're all rocking today.
Yep. Me too.
We do it and we teach it. We take a little time out from time to time to share others how it works. But that's what we do. Well, what else do you want to share with the listeners? Any thoughts on the community or anyone that's helped you? Any shout outs, anything that you want to say at this point? Wrap this up?
I mean, the community is great. Like I said, I hang out maybe a little more on Instagram, but when I get a lot of new people asking me questions, and I've been referring them back to the community, similar to that first one. They do things a little differently over there. If you want to learn this, head over there, because it is a very positive community. Everybody is very helpful. All the newbie questions get answered over there. So for the beginners, it's such a great place to start. And the replens, I mean, people have asked me, do you really think the replens course is what got you this far? Yeah, it is. It's a great course, and it's affordable too. There's so many guru expensive courses out there. But even just the pack is very affordable.
Yeah. It's not taken seriously enough sometimes because of how affordable we've made it. In the past, we've charged up to $700 for that course, and people have been very excited to pay and thrilled because you're launching a successful business. But right now, it's $29 a month because of COVID. We wanted to help as many people as possible, and we certainly have. Yeah, just the success stories are rolling in, but we didn't want price to be a barrier. Yeah. So this course, that the individual modules can have sold probably, if you added it all up, for $5,000 to $8,000. You get all of it.
Yeah.
$29 a month, constantly being updated and improved. So there's always new things to learn. There's always ways to grow and improve your business. And we just kind of keep putting that new content and the trainings and the, like our whole event at some point will be in there as video training sessions, our virtual event. It's you probably add that, 6 months or so from now. So there's always fresh content rolling in.
Yeah, there is and there's so much I love the pack. There's so much in there that I haven't even touched probably 80% of it yet. Yeah. And I know at some point I'm going to want to maybe grow and do wholesale, or, I'm dabbling a little with wholesale, and the courses are there. They're ready for me when I'm ready to move to something new.
Exactly. Or when you create a course, who knows? Some of these spreadsheets you're putting together and some of these strategies you're putting together, you're going to find a gap in what we offer. And that's how. The course isn't really, sit down and complete these 20 steps. Now go, now you go do it. And learn all there is to know. It's an ongoing, constantly improving, constantly evolving, new opportunities popping in, new leaders popping up and sharing brilliant ideas and strategies. It's it can be a few hours a week, or you can dive in and
Mm-hmm.
make it a living very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for giving the course and the community some props there. I'm just super proud of that, of what it's become. And I think a lot of the foundation of it is, like you mentioned, if you're new to all of this, we're not here to scare you away. We don't see you as a competitor.
Mm-hmm.
We see this as an opportunity that's so massive. We have to hold ourselves back from sharing it with the lady at the checkout. It's like,
Yeah.
you're working for $12 an hour,
Yeah.
helping me manage this business. You could go start doing tomorrow. And I'm not worried about the competition because it's so massive. E-commerce is exploding.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I see other people, I get excited. Like I go to pick up a replanter. There's one that's hard to find now because someone else has discovered it. And I'm kind of internally, I'm excited. Like that represents someone else whose business is taking off.
Yeah.
That's awesome. They found it. It's great. Because I know there's 1,000 more within 50 feet of me when we're out looking, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So we celebrate these wins. We don't see you as competitors. We want to be a community of like-minded business building warriors. So appreciate that. Well, what else is on your mind as we start to wrap this up? I'd love learning about your family today and how you've incorporated them and Charlie. Hopefully you don't lose her. Did you say she's going to college?
She's going to college. Yeah, she's in school right now. She wants to be a lawyer. So she's just her first year of college right now, though. Charlie is great. And
so she lives close even though she's in school.
Oh, yeah. And school is a lot of remote, I guess, still right now, even for college.
Sure.
And so she shops for me 1 day a week, which works whatever day.
Okay.
Yeah. One full 8-hour day.
Right.
And she can get it all done. She usually gets about 400 or 500 items in an 8-hour day. But she fits it in whatever works for her homework schedule or her classes. I don't need it on a specific day. It's usually Wednesdays. And then she comes to the house on Saturdays and she preps for an 8-hour day on Saturday with my son. So it works for her school. The rest of the week she's in school and doing homework, whatever, it's really flexible for her.
Yeah. So you're not going to lose her anytime soon. That's good.
No, I don't.
I think you're going to have a little army of shoppers. I think you have 5 to 10 shoppers and they're going to be out there every day and you're just going to be managing it, with a pencil in your hand and managing it, crunching the numbers. And hey, today, guys, we're going to focus on this. Send out your little orders. And
I hope so. Yeah. I think the next thing is actually having Charlie learn more about Keepa charts because she's just so excited about the business and seeing it grow and so invested that she'll start sending me pictures. And she's like, I saw this. Is this a good one?
Right.
And so I just had her install Scoutify is what I use from Inventory Lab for sourcing. I just had her install that and Keepa charts. So she doesn't know how to read them, but she sends me screenshots of the Keepa charts and the Scoutify when she's out shopping if she sees something that looks good.
Talk her through it.
Yeah. And I talk her through it. Yeah, I'm probably going to have her watch some of the Ruplens videos soon, the Keepa videos to
perfect.
And then she can be sourcing for me too.
Exactly, because she's out walking by $100 bills laying on the shelf. Go ahead and grab some of them, right?
Yeah.
And we've got our son, Zane, our 17, soon to be 18-year-old. Check the driveway. His car's not here. He's out finding replens right now.
Yeah.
And he's getting paid. What we do with him is we pay him a percent, of whatever he finds. So he's getting paid hourly. But he's got an incentive to find new replens, and if he finds a hot one and it's making us money, we're going to give him a cut. And so it's kind of built into our system. But well, this is fun. Yeah, this is really fun. It's been great getting to know you a little bit, and I can't wait to see when you go full time. Will you come back and share the victory with us?
Absolutely.
Talk about it, give us that update. I mean, that may just be a couple of months from now, the way you're on fire, right?
I hope so. I'm trying. I mean, it's some sleepless nights. This week I'm an accountant, so I'm closing the books. This week it was rough. I was doing overtime for my job up till 1 a.m. And then, I'm shopping and prepping, but I'm going to put in like hard effort for a few months to get that back this next year.
Well, you're in that period. I love this phrase when I first heard it. It was Brian Tracy where I first heard it. And he said, every business is going to go through a period of intense, focused effort. You're going to make a bunch of sacrifices. You're going to make a bunch of mistakes. You're going to question, is this really something I should be doing? And it's going to hurt. But on the other side of that, you've built a system and it's smooth and curve up. And you're like, oh, okay, I see what all that hard work was about now. That's just how it is. There's no such thing as hey, I flipped a few switches and look at all this money I'm making now. Those aren't sustainable. Those
Yeah.
just as quickly as they rise, they crash.
Yep.
But as an accountant, you want to see that nice, steady,
Yes.
slow and steady is a beautiful thing, right? And that's
Yes,
what
it
you're
is.
building. And it's going to have that point of no return where it's just going to make a lot of sense to keep growing this thing. And now you've got a nice, comfortable routine, and you're waking up when you want, and you're spending time in the morning with your family. And it's noon. Let's get going now, guys. Let's make something happen today.
Exactly.
Those days are coming.
Yeah.
That's the trajectory you're on. And I can't wait to share that journey with you and with the audience who's enjoyed your story today. So I'm sure.
Yeah, good.
Well, let me talk to the listeners real quick. Just as a reminder, the podcast that you're listening to, if you're in listen only mode right now, we actually did a YouTube video. So look for the link and you can actually meet Kim and see her on the screen and see our YouTube channel where several videos are posted. And if you're watching us on YouTube, you should know that about only 20% of our episodes are on video. You need to go check out silentjim.com and listen to all of our episodes. There's several hundred and great stories like Kim's today and many others, and tips and strategies. So make sure and check that out because you're missing a lot if you're just seeing us on YouTube today. Most people are listeners, not watchers to our show. But I just want to say God bless all the business building warriors out there. I hope you picked up some great encouragement today. Kim talked a lot about the Proven Amazon course. It is priced ridiculously inexpensive. You can pay once or pay monthly. Either way, you get full access to the whole thing immediately. And you can jump into our 101 course, which is where everyone should start, just learn the basics, and then jump into replens, which is what Kim talked about today. And we're here to help in our free Facebook group. There's a link to that at silentjim.com as well. And all the show notes from today's episode too, for anything that we mentioned. We'll have links to all the tools and stuff. So great job, Kim. Thanks for being our guest today. Tell your family, thank them, please, on our behalf for loaning you to us.
Absolutely.
Because you could have been out finding replens and you hung out with us today. So we're on.
Yeah, I'm going shopping right after we're done.
Yep, I'm heading out too. It's that time of year when you're crazy not to.
Yes.
But let me just make this final point, little bonus point, because we talked about earlier that there's some seasonal items that get hot and you get excited, and those little spikes, those are fun.
Yeah.
But those are just the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Beautiful thing about replens is you talked about January. Once we get through Christmas, it's stuff that sells every month.
Yep.
Every week. It's selling consistently. You can take it to the bank. Unless someone comes in and tanks the price, which happens from time to time, and you can wait it out or you can abandon the ASIN. It's up to you. Abandon that listing. It's going to keep selling at the same rate. That's what we teach you how to find. That's the model.
Yep.
So, awesome. Just another awesome replen success story. We've got quite a collection of them now.
Yep.
All right. Well, hey, thank you for your time. And to the listeners, like I said, God bless the business building warriors. We'll have another great episode like this one again for you real soon. See you then.